Hi there, back with a makeup tutorial on this kind of violet purple toned look. If you want to see how I completed this, then just keep watching. Alright, just got the bangs out of the way, and I'm going to start with my most favoritist product right now, and that's the Estee Lauder Day Wear Multi Protection Sheer Tint Release Moisturizer. It's got an SPF 15, and this is basically healthy glow in a bottle. It doesn't offer any coverage. You can use it instead of a moisturizer. I like it because it just gives my skin a really nice, healthy glow, and it deepens my skin tone just a little tiny bit so that the foundations that I use blend a little bit better into my skin. When it comes out, it's this peculiar gray color, but you'll see once you start massaging it on the face, then it turns into a nice skin tone. So it doesn't look like it does much, but it actually does. You're gonna have to trust me on that one. I'm gonna let it kind of sit on the skin for a minute, and I'm gonna go right into the eyes because I am using a product that has a wee amount of glitter in it later on in the makeup. So I'm using MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in NW15, and I'm going to use this on my eyelids just to get rid of all of the veins and the discoloration happening there. I'm not going to worry too much about concealing under here with it. I'm kind of using it as my eyeshadow primer today. I'm going to set that with a little bit of Essence All About Matte fixing powder. This is just a translucent powder, and it's just going to make it so that this concealer doesn't crease on my eyelids, and it gives me a nice kind of neutral zone to blend with when I'm putting my shadows on over top. I'll zoom in closer so you guys can get a better view of the eye makeup. Going to be using this Pixi Endless Silky Eye Pen in Black Tulip, which is a nice deep purple color. And I'm going to begin by working it into the upper lash line on this waterline up top here. So you can already see how that's starting to make the lash line look thicker. I'm also going to take it on the lower waterline. Then I'll take a little pencil brush and just give it a smudge. I'm also going to take a little bit of that and work it into the upper lash line, mostly focusing it at that outer edge. Next, I'm going to take a little bit of this Essence shadow in Is It Purple? It's a really light lilac shade. I'm going to pack that on all the way across the lid. I'm going right over that liner on both upper and lower. Next, with a fluffy brush and this Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. It's a matte bronzing powder, and I'm going to be using it on the rest of my face later, but I'm going to take some of that through the crease of my eye now. And now taking some Chanel Illusion d'Ombre in 97 New Moon. I'm going to stipple that all the way across the eye to give a sort of glittery, wet look. I'm going to go ahead and catch the other eye up, and then I'll zoom out. So the foundation I'm going to be using is my new favorite, and it's the L'Oreal True Match Lumi. I've got the shade N12, which is neutral, and I'm going to begin by applying it with a brush, and then I'll blend it out with a sponge. The reason I'm doing it this way is because a sponge is going to absorb a lot more of the product, but it'll blend it out nicely and keep it nice and hydrated, whereas the brush isn't going to blend quite as seamlessly as a sponge would, but it won't absorb tons of product. So I'm just roughly going around, cleaning up my eye shape. And now I'm going to take my Real Techniques sponge and just really work that into the skin. Mine has already broken and chipped a little bit, but still works like a charm. For concealing under the eyes, I'm going to mix what's left on my hand from doing the base on my eyelid, which is the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in NW15. It's a little bit too light for under the eye. It's not going to hide my shadows, and I don't want it to be such like an extreme highlight. So I'm gonna mix it with a little bit of Maybelline Fit Me in medium. For blush, I'm going to use this Becca Wild Orchid, which is this lovely lilac shade as well. Well, I guess it's an orchid shade, but it's quite muted. It's not like that radiant orchid sort of bright purple. I'm going to use my finger with that, take it on the highest point of my cheek, and then I'm just going to use that same brush to buff it in. And I'm going to keep layering that up until I get the intensity that I like. I'm going to set my face now using my ambient lighting palette by Hourglass, and I'm going to use dim light. At this point, I'm just going to go back in with that purple shadow under my eye and just re-blend it down. In case any of it got lost when I was concealing. Taking that Too Faced chocolate bronzer again, I'm going to put this in the hollows and the perimeter of my face. Also, as usual, under the jaw and chin. Now that I've put the bronzer and the setting powder on, I'm going to go back in with a little bit of the blush just because some of it got muted and blended away, and I don't want that because I love that bright, vibrant color. I'm also going to take a little bit of this Benefit What's Up highlighter on that same brush and just take it through the top of the cheekbone. You can just draw a stripe on and then use your finger, but I just really want a nice seamless blend. I'm also going to put just a little dot of that right on the tip of my nose and blend it in. And a little bit on the bridge of my lips. Now time for mascara, so I'm going to use my Kevyn Aucoin lash curlers. And a coat of this new mascara I'm trying out. I've been trying out a lot of new mascaras lately, but this is the Voluminous Miss Manga, and it has the strangest brush you ever did see. It's like bendy and very conical, like getting very narrow at that inside edge. I'm not like over the moon about it, but I like it all right. And then as usual, my Clinique Bottom Lash Mascara for those wee little bottom lashes. For brows, I'm going to be using this Milani Brow Shaping Clear Wax. And I'm just gonna run that through the brow. Give it a brush up. And then to fill in any little gaps or sparse areas or to fix my shape, I'm just going to take an angle brush and some print and wedge. And that wax just helps the powder grab onto the skin and look a lot more natural. You can see I'm holding my brush by the very, very end because that way it just ensures that I'm going to get a very light-handed application. Lastly is lips, and I'm going to use this Maybelline The Elixir Color Sensational in Mauve Mystique. And this looks like such a boring color, but I am so in love with it. It's mauve, obviously, and these glosses feel fantastic. So that is this makeup look completed. I hope that you enjoyed it and come back again for something new. Thanks. Bye-bye.